Oh, there we go. I pressed the wrong button. Hello again. Happy Monday! You made it through the weekend. Now you're here, stuck with me. Your choice, though. We had another Monday off, so I was like, okay, let's just do it the same time as last time, you know? Get a little bit consistent while we still have a little bit of consistency. But how are we doing today? Who all do we have? A the Ant, Ryan, Peter, Aiden, Flame Master, Knucklebone of Fickle Fortune. It's been a minute. Hello, everyone. How are we doing? Onyx Studios, Hackaput, Zazania. I always mess it up, but I know it sounds like a Z. That's all I know. Long time no see. It is. Ow. My cat just attacked my foot. Why'd you do that? If you can hear a cat, this one is not the one that attacked, but the one that you can see the tail of is the one that attacked. Why'd you do that? Now my heel is bleeding. Wow. Okay. Great start, everyone. So, last week we kind of just caught up. We just chatted. It was nice. It was very chill. We just talked about life, what's been going on with everyone, what's been going on with me. Where's everything been? Where's all the DC20 related videos? Where are the things that you subscribed for? I missed making them. And it was really nice to be able to actually go live again for once last week. So we're doing the same thing this week, but this time we're actually going to be diving in to DC20 stuff. We didn't really do that last time. We talked a little bit about it, but the main thing we talked about with DC20 last week was what it was like going back to the game after not having played it for months or having really looked at it in months. And there are some interesting observations, which we'll probably dive into in a second. But let's get some more chat, some more hello out of the way, and then we'll start diving into some session prep because I'm excited to start playing again. Oh man. It's okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. That's reassuring. We can. Oh, you can hear the cat? He's very vocal. That's the orange cat. He likes attention. The tuxedo likes attention when he wants it, which is rare. I don't know why you attacked my heel. It just fed you. All right. So here's what I want to do today. I want to attempt to just write a DC20 session. I literally haven't done it in months. So I want to dive back into it. I understand that a recent adventure came out, so I might look through that a little bit. I can't show it on stream, I don't believe, but I would like to kind of glance through it, see if that can provide any kind of insights into what the design philosophy is with writing a session, or at least an adventure for DC20. We'll probably compare it a little bit with Draw Steel and Daggerheart. I have played those recently, just not DC20. We might even talk about those a little bit if I get sidetracked. And we'll probably try to make a custom monster of some kind. Use the DC Crit website. But we're not going to try to format the notes to look pretty. That can be done later. The main goal of today is just get the bare bones of the session. We're going to figure out the adventure together, the NPCs, the monsters, the hooks, roll tables if applicable, things like that. At least in the time that we have. What's everyone's prediction for when 0.10 will drop? Oof. That's tough. anytime there's a major update, it feels like it's months after when we first start getting hints of it dropping. So I think the last update I heard was like people were speculating like October. I'm gonna say December. We might see it this year. We might see .11 this year, but I think it's gonna be winter when we see 0.10, unless they're like way ahead of schedule. I'm very behind on DC20 updates, if you can't tell already. I use D&D tarot cards to shape my own story. Interesting. Aiden, are those the ones from that Deck of Many Things book, or like just like custom like tarot cards for it? That's interesting. I do like the design philosophy for the DC20 adventures and how it is aiming to make session prep / running a session easier. Ryan, can you elaborate on that? Like, what about it makes it easier to prep? I'm curious. Like, is it the kind of adventure that you can theoretically just like pick up and just start running? Like, you can kind of just go into it blind? November. All right, so everyone else thinks November. You know what? Let's have fun. We haven't done one in a little bit. Let's do a poll. When will 0.10 drop? October, November, December, after GTA 6. Boom. There we go. Polls up in the chat, just for fun. Why not? Yeah, no, whoa, I can't even speak. I'm curious what the spells are gonna look like. The last time I tuned into a patron exclusive stream was literally like back in May. And back then, Coach was just trying to figure out how to categorize the spells. That's the last thing I saw of spells. So I have no idea if there are categories for them now, if we have an idea of what spells are already kind of looking like, how they're going to work. I think I heard someone in the regular Discord for the Dungeon Coach Discord. I'm pretty sure I heard somebody talk about sustaining spells, which, if I remember correctly, that's like a Pathfinder thing. So that would be kind of interesting, especially if it was like, I don't know, like an action point to sustain a spell. Nope. No. For the latest adventure, Coach released a video. The idea is that there are some information boxes that you read when you are prepping, but can skip when you are running it, and vice versa. Interesting. Well, let me just go ahead and pull that up then. I still don't think I'm allowed to show it on stream. I would really like to, though. Let's see. I download every magazine so that I can print it out physically, but I haven't done it for that one yet. All right, let's see what we got. Oof, I wanted this over here. Let me see. The Trouble on the Tradeway. The art of the game is cool. It's very cartoony. I like that. All right, so you have an adventure overview. You have your list of NPCs, including what their voice is like, what their appearance is like, their goals, their background. their stats if they don't have a stat block. That's interesting. How to read this adventure looks pretty much the same. It looks like something you could probably recreate in like Google Docs or something. So that's really cool. Just like with like the highlighter, so you could like highlight blocks of text for as green for read out loud, blue for characters reading out loud. I'm guessing that's orange for background information, useful information. Okay. All right. That's interesting. Put that back over there. I honestly can't remember off the top of my head. It comes with a booklet to help guide you on how to draw and read the cards, and a vague description of what each card represents. Manic is here! What's up, dude? Coach discussed sustain over concentration. I think in theory I like that. That sounds like something I would like more, I think. There hasn't been any live streams for the past couple of weeks from Coach due to Gen Con. I'm 50-50 on how I feel about missing Gen Con this year. Yes, I know. I missed it this year. I'm not giving you my food, bro. I really wanted to go. I genuinely love Gen Con. I like playing the games. I like walking the vendor hall. I like meeting up with friends. Going out and doing things outside of the convention center. I really love Gen Con. So I'm very sad I didn't get to go. I also feel like I didn't really miss out on much this year, if that makes any sense. Like last year was the big 50th anniversary for Dungeons and Dragons. And, you know, you like, they were gonna release the player's handbook there. You could get in line to be one of the first people to get the book, which is an okay book. And you know, maybe this year I'm sad I missed out on Critical Role having a bigger presence there. Maybe that's maybe about it. You can show small sections of it, but not like the whole page and book. And yeah, I download them all as well. Yeah, download them, get them printed on like a magazine kind of material. Just fun. Have you seen this month's magazine, New Ancestries? I did. Yeah, I thought they were fun. I can't wait to show my players and see what they think of some of the options. I'm not gonna lie, when last stream people told me that there were new ancestries, I kind of expected some kind of like fairy. Oh well. I had a hard time adding sustain actions into monsters. Like for DC20, is this already a thing? Do we already know what sustain looks like for monsters in DC20? I don't know. Yeah, sustain is a Pathfinder thing. Keep it going by spending an action point. Yeah. I use this adventure magazine to help me convert a 5e 2-player one-shot for couples called Date Night. D8 Night. That sounds cute. Liam is here. Late, but have arrived. I appreciate you, Liam. The Critical Role announcement was Gen Con this year, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, the Critical Role Campaign 4. We actually played that Gen Con session at my theater, which was really cool, seeing the Campaign 4 announcement on the big screen. That was awesome. I'm very curious what's going on, though. What's happening with that Campaign 4? It felt like they were hinting new players. Don't know how I fully feel about that yet. I guess it depends on the players. And then Mercer being a player, cool. I like when he's a player. I also like when he's a DM. I do like Brennan a little bit more as a DM, but that's just because Matt uses big words. I didn't go to college, so I struggle with his really detailed description sometimes. And they kept interchanging DM and GM for terminology in that announcement. So I'm guessing it's going to be Daggerheart. I feel like D&D's at a point, at least in online spaces, where everyone's kind of tapped out. At least that's the way it feels. I don't really see D&D in my feeds anymore. Like every now and then, maybe, but I feel like most people are talking about Daggerheart or Draw Steel or Starfinder, DC20, and sometimes there's D&D. I don't know. Yeah, he was just finishing off the ancestries that were promised during the Kickstarter. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I dropped my phone like 3 times on accident during the live stream. I hope it didn't translate into the audio. I don't think so. I guess we'll see. I heard Brennan is the GM for season 4. Absolutely. Brennan Lee Mulligan is no longer gonna make American Girl doll shoes and will be the GM. A little running joke for everyone. Yeah, Travis was the one making the DM mistake. Oh, what? Oh, wait, I think you're right. Yeah, okay, so it probably is going to be Daggerheart, which honestly, I really love Daggerheart. I really love the one-shots that they were doing for Daggerheart. I didn't love Age of Umbra. I tried twice to watch Age of Umbra. I just didn't really get into it. I think that was more the storytelling style and the way that particular game and world is run. I didn't super get into it, but yeah, there are other ones that they had like during like the beta testing and everything. Really loved those. Really loved those. Okay. Who wants to make a DC20 session? All right, let's go ahead and switch over to our little interactive tab, our little Google Doc tab, and let's figure this out, shall we? Boom! I should make a Google template that's just like a session prep tab or something. D&D is just becoming more corporate every year and thus losing its charm. Wizards is basically the Rooster Teeth of TTRPGs. Dang. Yeah. I think I feel that. I don't know that I would ever I don't think I would run D&D anytime soon, but I would play in someone's D&D game. Well, I would. Admittedly, it was hard after playing DC20 for so long and then doing a one-shot with a friend in D&D. You kind of forget how restricting it is. How like there's less to do and you have to wait for your turn longer. That part kind of sucked. But anyways, let's do this, shall we? We're just going to go ahead and just start just with a heading. You know, actually, let's go ahead and just make a little title. Let's go ahead and just get cinematic with this, shall we? Insert adventure title. And just for fun, I'm just gonna go ahead and just make it a... Oh wait, I forget, I don't have my... Boom. Times New Roman. I love Times New Roman. Hey, Alien, you're back. Jaden is back here as well, just chilling with you in the background while I rewrite scripts I effed up on. Ooh, good luck with that. I saw T and Tori was working on a Frankensteining Daggerheart in DC20, and I am intrigued. I I'm also intrigued. Anything T and Tori does, I'm always gonna hear out. Okay. So, I'm just gonna write down some goals that I have for the session. So, we got goals, right? What do we want in this campaign? Well, I want to figure out what the theme is. I want to figure out the genre, when and where, how many players is this designed for. So we got theme, genre, when and where, how many players, what level / difficulty, and how long. I think these are the questions I want to answer, and I'm curious what you guys are going to select for this, because you guys are going to help me make this. How does one become a player in your DC20 campaigns? I'd put up money. That's a great question. First, your boy would need time. That's the big part. There's so little time now. When I had a job that was like consistently, like every day, it was 9 to 5. Life was so easy to plan. So easy. You knew you always had your evenings. You always had your weekends. So easy to plan and live life. Now with this new job, which I love, there's no consistent schedule. You find out what your schedule is. You always get your schedule. It's always Friday to Thursday. You get your schedule on Tuesdays, the week of. So, like, I won't know when I'm working from this Friday up to next Thursday until tomorrow. So I have no idea. I have absolutely no clue. All right. What kind of adventure am I feeling recently? You know, I'm feeling extra heroic. We just had a really great month of superhero movies. Fantastic Four was awesome. Superman was awesome. So I kind of want a very heroic kind of adventure. So our genre is going to be kind of a superhero fantasy. Themes. What kind of themes do we want in this? Can you elaborate on what the theme bullet point means? Okay. So genre is like we established superheroes, right? So let's just use the Marvel universe, for example. All of those movies are in the superhero genre, and then there's like subgenres in that, right? So if you want to take Guardians of the Galaxy, the genre is superheroes, but then the subgenre would be like found family. In particular, the first one. The first one would be like found family, so finding your family, belonging to something. The themes of that movie, right? You could also say it's found family, but it's also love. It's learning how to trust others. It's how to work well with others. The second movie, they're already an established team. They're going on this adventure, and you get Star-Lord's dad, right? So in that one, the themes could be father and son, or fatherhood, or in the case of Gamora and Nebula, sisterhood, coming from damaged families. So things kind of like that. I'm trying to think of another one. Ant-Man, superhero fantasy, subgenre. It's a heist movie. The themes of that movie, I actually don't really remember Ant-Man all too well. I don't know if that one was the best example. I could easily do Superman, but I don't want to spoil Superman just in case. I hope that makes sense. Now to play some more abiotic while watching the stream. I don't know what that is, but that sounds scary. That sounds miserable. That's crazy. It's not really miserable. Crazy, I guess maybe. There's a lot of jobs that have a new schedule weekly. A lot of jobs. Not so much ones where you kind of like sit down at a desk, like desk jobs, but getting in like entertainment jobs or fast food or starter jobs, things like that. There's often a weekly schedule of some kind. You don't know abiotic? Nope, never heard of it. Themes can be fleshed out and discovered as you write. Yeah. Abiotic Factor, the Half-Life SCP Survival Crafter. Oh, hold on, that was a bunch of words. Abiotic. Oh, Abiotic Factor. I just realized you guys can't see it. I don't have it formatted to share. Abiotic Factor is a narrative-driven survival crafting experience for 1 to 6 players set in the depths of an underground research facility. Okay, so it's like cartoony and stuff. I like it. Yeah, I don't know anything about this game. I've also never played Half-Life. I know a lot of people talk about it and they love it, but never played it. Oh, this cat jumped on the desk. He wants to say hello. This is Dean Martin, everybody. Do you want to be put down now? Wow, he's calm for once. All right, I'm gonna sit you down. Alrighty. Yeah, I have no idea what abiotic factor is. If we're going with the superhero genre, would it be more focused on fighting one big bad, or would there be villains all over? Well, that's a good question. Let's actually figure that out. If we're doing a superhero one, you could have multiple. In this case, this is a one-shot. So I would say one big bad with notable henchmen. If this was going to be like an adventure, like 1 to 3 sessions, then I would say you kind of have an opportunity for like a supervillain team up. So if we're going with DC as an example, that's when you could have like your Injustice Gang or Legion of Doom, where you have like Lex Luthor one session, the Joker another session, or Sinestro, right? That way you have different kinds of adversaries. One for brain, one for like a mental challenge or like a mystic challenge, and then one that's like a physical challenge. Yeah. We'll find theme as we figure it out. When and where? I think when. I like going the Superman route. Heroes are established. There is a Legion. There is a Legion that is dispatched. For heroes are established, there is a Legion that is dispatched for big scenarios, big events, for dangerous situations. And then we'll elaborate that later. How many players? I think this would be best I'm gonna go with my favorite player range of 4 to 6. 4 for me personally is on the lower end. I really love when I have 6 players. So I'm gonna say 4 to 6. 4 is the absolute lowest I would do a player count. 6 isn't the max, but 6 is where I love. That's my ideal player count. What level or difficulty? You know, we want this to be very heroic. There's 4 levels in DC20 right now, right? Am I tripping? There's 4 now? I'm about to pull up the document and look this up. I can't remember. I know we had 1 through 2, or 1 and 2 for the longest time. That we got the subclasses, so that's level 3. There are 4. Okay, yeah. Let's do 4 levels. We've done so many 1 and 2 level adventures. Let's just go ahead and 4. If this were an adventure, I would have them level up for each one, but it's not. So let's say level 4 adventure. How long? I think this should this be a quick session or should it be a fast session? I think this one depends on how much combat we want. Do we want a lot of fighting in this one shot? Or do we want a little bit of an investigation kind of aspect with it? Do we want puzzles? I think that depends how much combat we want. Because combat is faster in DC20 than it is in Dungeons and Dragons. Asterisks, everyone is able to just use the DC20 lingo. Admittedly, adding up all the math factors, it kind of slows things down a little bit. I'm looking for 1-hour sessions for an after-school D&D club. Do you think we could do a session in an hour? With combat? That'd be an interesting challenge. I don't know if we can, but we could try that. All right, let's do... I don't know, this is level 4, so we have a lot more powers we can use. Let's go for like a 3 or 4 hour session. I don't know why I'm sticking around those particular numbers today, but I'm just feeling that. 3 to 4 hours. 1 hour is short, but is all we'll have. I think around 4 hours for this kind of adventure. I think so. If it was like a 1 hour session, it'd be very fast paced. Like go, 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 go. Not really a whole lot of role play. Like there's times for like little inputs here and there, but it's mainly like we're rolling, we're doing the encounters, and all that. Okay. So now we have our things, except for theme. So I'm just gonna highlight all of these so that I just remember. Boop. There we go. Okay. So now, oops. Whoa, find and replace. What the heck? None. So let's do adventure summary. All right. We need an elevator pitch for this adventure. So let me go ahead and read a few examples of elevator pitches. Let's see, elevator pitch. Superhero movies. So an elevator pitch, for those of you who don't know, There's a studio executive in an elevator. You have the amount of time it takes to go up and down the elevator, roughly 30 seconds, to pitch your idea and sell the studio executive on your movie. So, what are those elevator pitches? So let's see. Let's try a few examples. Elevator pitch: Raiders of the Lost Ark, my favorite movie of all time. Indiana Jones. Let's see what it is, right? If I can find it, where did it go? What is Raiders of the Lost Ark elevator pitch? This used to be something I could just look up and it was just there. Where did it go? This bothers me. I'm gonna switch to a different movie now. This is taking too long. All right. The Dark Knight elevator pitch. Maybe if I type example with it. Okay. I hate the new Google. Okay. This is killing me. Elevator pitch examples. Okay. 15 elevator pitch examples. We're just gonna go with this because this is insane. Have it start in an elevator. Have it start in an elevator? Maybe that's it. If there is an established legion of heroes, there needs to be a reason the player characters are the ones being called out specifically. I agree. Don't forget to label 4 to 6 players in 3 to 4 hours. You need experienced players to be able to run combat in 1 hour? Yeah, I think so. Uh-oh, sounds like they're leading you down the path to ChatGPT. You know what? Let's just ChatGPT. Not to write the adventure, to clarify. Just for these elevator pitch examples. Give me an elevator pitch for The Dark Knight. Okay, here it is. I hated how fast that was to look up with this. When Gotham's masked protector pushes the city's crime syndicates to the brink, a new kind of villain rises, an agent of chaos known as the Joker. As Batman faces his most cunning adversary, he must navigate moral dilemmas, fragile alliances, and the risk of becoming the very thing he fights against. Google has downgraded so bad that I use ChatGPT instead of Google. Is that... I hear that that's like a massive thing for people. I've had that problem with Google Images. I don't use ChatGPT to generate the images, but do you guys remember what like Google Images used to look like? It used to be so easy. Like you would click on an image and it would be the center of your screen and that was the image. Now it just kind of pops up on the right side. You can't really zoom in. I hate it. Okay. Let's do one for Superman. I should have clarified which Superman. Oh, it's having to search the web. I couldn't find one for Superman. Are you kidding me? Let's do one for Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, here it is. A ragtag crew of outlaws, led by a wisecracking earthling, must put aside their differences to stop a cosmic warlord from wielding a powerful artifact, saving the galaxy in the most dysfunctional way possible. Read it like the movie voiceover guy. Okay, let's get one for the movie voiceover guy. Now do one for Iron Man. ChatGPT has been struggling recently. Here we go. I don't know if I can do movie guy, but let's try it. After being corrupted? No, captured. After being captured by terrorists, billionaire inventor Tony Stark builds a suit of armor to escape and discovers a new purpose as the armored hero Iron Man, defending the world from threats he once helped create. That's actually a really good elevator pitch. I like that one. But yeah, that's basically what we're going for. A one-sentence summary of the adventure. If it can't be summed up in one sentence, maybe two max. We need to try something else. So, I think we said we only have time for one villain. Maybe a couple of notable henchmen. Someone said start it off in an elevator. Maybe elevator is a big part of the plot. I don't know. Maybe the elevator is a big part of the plot. I would say we could try to dictate the tone, but players are a big part of that. Let's see, you need to switch back to the docs view. Fine. No, you're handsome, Ben. The entire adventure takes place in an elevator. Could you do that? Can you do that with the TTRPG? Can you make the entire thing take place in an elevator? Maybe the elevator takes you to floors that are on a different plane of existence? Maybe? Maybe that could be part of the puzzle. Yeah, each floor is an encounter. Each floor is an encounter. All floors are tied to one big puzzle, with each floor being its own puzzle with an answer to the overall one. If players can hardly figure out a riddle for a 5-year-old, they should totally be able to get this, right? Adventure is definitely called elevator pitch. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Elevator pitch. The movie. Boom. Elevator pitch. The movie. Okay, so there's one villain, maybe a couple of notable henchmen. Maybe the elevator is a big part of the plot, which we established. Elevator is a big part of the plot. Elevator takes you to the floors on different planes of existence. Each floor is an encounter. All floors are tied to one big puzzle. Okay. Why are they in the elevator? What is the purpose of the elevator? What does the BBEG have to do with the elevator? Those are things that we need to figure out. Why on earth are they in there? I'm gonna go ahead and just bold these questions, and we'll just put the answer next to the question. Maybe the players are superheroes in training, and each elevator floor is a different part of training. Ooh, okay. Okay. What is the purpose of the elevator? Training the heroes for different scenarios in the field. Okay, maybe. Heroes are trapped in the elevator by the BBEG, who controls portals. Sorry, one more time. Heroes are trapped in the elevator because by the BBEG, who controls the portals. Okay. So they're trapped. I still need to know what he does with the, like, what's his purpose with it? Like, there's portals, but like, for what though? You know? Maybe a big villain is trying to prevent new superheroes from getting initiated into the Legion. Okay. So why are they in the elevator? It's a trap for new recruits of the Legion. And then what does the BBEG have to do with the elevator? It uses his technology / magic. Maybe? Maybe is our big word for this session. Sorry, late in. Planning on running a DC20 campaign? I would love to run a campaign again. Time is a big part. Hey, we hit our like goal. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so we have some information. We know that our heroes are being recruited into the Legion. I'm just going to call them the Legion for now. There's an elevator. I don't know. Yeah, it's meant to be training, but the BBEG has made it deadly. Okay. So we know the why they're in the elevator. What does BBEG have to do to it? It uses his technology or magic. He's turned the elevator deadly. Okay. Now the question I have, if we want to go down that train of thought, why has the BBEG tampered with this elevator now? You know, like, there's already a legion of superheroes. There's probably recruits getting added all the time. Why this elevator? Why these recruits? What's the motive? What does the big bad evil guy accomplish by getting these specific new recruits in this elevator for a death trap? What does he accomplish? I was thinking more the villain hacked into the Hero Legion's elevator. Okay. We'll We'll put that as a maybe. Maybe he hacked the elevator with magic. It's like the X-Men Danger Room, except it's a series of tests, and if they make it to the top alive, stuff happens. Okay. So... Okay. Like the X-Men Danger Room, or the... I forget the name of it. That one room from Star Trek. Maybe these are used as pawns. Maybe. Maybe there's a particular recruit they're trying to prevent rising in power. Okay. A particular recruit of the players. Is that what we're saying? They are the children / second generation of famous heroes. Ooh. I think that's the route. I think we just turned this adventure. Oh my god, that's why. Okay. This is the Justice League putting Young Justice to the test, but the villains have hijacked the test. That's what this is. That's what this is. Or if you're not really a Young Justice person, the Teen Titans. Dude, you got it. You nailed it. I think that's what it is. They are the children / second generation. Yeah, to kill the children / second generation of famous heroes. Yeah, I like that. Maybe it's not a villain. It's just a really tough interview. I can relate. Distraction and diversion for other heroes. The newbies would obviously need to save them instead of the world, right? I like that idea too. How you doing, Daniel? Welcome to the chat, by the way. The Star Trek holodeck, that's what it's called. Yep, the holodeck. Or that one room from Star Trek. Holodeck. Maybe they were the wrong ones that were supposed to enter the elevator. Oh my god, that'd be a really funny one. Like you have a not even like an A tier villain. It's more like a C list villain. He finally managed to accomplish something that's great, but the wrong heroes are in that elevator. The BBEG is really the elevator's AI. Ooh, okay. Maybe that, you know what? We'll see. Okay, so now we need to take all this information that we've gathered and put it into a 1 to 2 sentence summary. Summary. Okay. All right, how do we want to put this? Sorry, my work chat is blowing up the phone right now. Ooh, we're getting new lines. Nice. The party is running from a BBEG who is on the top ground with an army of enemies. The party needs to move elevator down into their base. The BBEG is moving the elevator up to catch them. Every floor can help them to stop raising the elevator up. That would be great for that 1 hour session scenario. Like for the after school club, that one would be great because you have a ticking clock. You know there's going to be a final result. You could do that in an hour. That's a good one. Give me the elevator pitch for the elevator pitch, please. I'm trying, Knucklebone, I'm trying. Okay. Let's see. On the eve of graduation day, for the Legion's new recruits, comma, on the eve of graduation day for the Legion's new recruits. I thought that started off great. I'm not confident in the way that started now. On the eve of graduation day for the Legion's new recruits, super villain, insert name here, on the eve of graduation day for the Legion's new recruits, supervillain blank hijacks the, what is a cool name for this elevator? Hijacks the elevator. Insert cool name here. Whoa. On the eve of graduation day for the Legion's new recruits, supervillain blank hijacks the elevator blank. To put the upcoming on the eve of graduation day for the Legion's new recruit, supervillain blank hijacks the elevator blank. How do I get rid of that markdown thing? There we go. To put the upcoming heroes through a series of tests that prove to be deadly. That's a very rough elevator pitch, but that's kind of what we have at the moment. We can improve upon this. We can make this better. Did you talk about AMC doing commercials before movies? Just found out as we planned to go see Superman. Hold up. What you mean AMC doing commercials before movies? They've always done commercials before movies. What you mean? What's going on with your AMC? You guys don't have commercials? What you mean? The elevator's name is PITCH. I love that. I think I know what you're referring to. AMC announced that they were going to have more ads and a premium ad spot that a company could buy, and it was going to be placed right before the movie. It's like right after the trailers, there was going to be one premium ad spot up to 2 minutes in length that had nothing to do with the movie. I hated that. That sounded horrendous. Recently, AMC announced that they are going to lessen the amount of ads that they play in front of movies because statistics report only about about 80% of people don't show up for the movie until about 5 minutes before, because everyone knows there's too many ads. So studios are unhappy that theaters are playing too many ads because theaters need to make money somehow, and if it's not going to be concessions, their thought logic is ads. But if people aren't seeing the trailers before movies, how are they supposed to show up to movies at the movie theater? And it's a whole thing. It is a whole thing. Most movies start about 25 minutes after the projected start time. I personally hate it. And even when the ads are playing, no one's paying attention. They're on their phones. When the trailers start, people get off their phones. But no, I think it's a good step. AMC does a few things right, and then they take like 5 steps back. So I'm glad they're cutting down on ads. I really hope that other theaters follow suit. Like, I would love it if Regal did. Cinemark. That'd be great. I don't think the answer to that. I could see it be a situation where they think, okay, we're cutting back on the ads, so now we have to raise the concession prices again. I don't think that's the answer. I could go into movie theaters for hours. If we want to have a movie theater related stream, we can do that one day. Cause I'll dive into that. I'm obsessed with movie theaters. I love movie theaters, dude. I freaking love movie theaters. Maybe the elevator is controlled by a friendly AI named Pitch. I think we got to incorporate, the name Pitch somewhere. I think that's a good idea. It would be fun to lock them in the training room level with overpowered training bots. Sure, someone already mentioned. Ooh, maybe it starts off with them in a danger room scenario. They finish their training for the day, and, well, no, if that's the case, we'll get into it. You stole my credit. Our theater tried to get people to pay attention before the movie by having an app-led quiz that gave reward points. Really? Ryan, what theater chain is that? That's interesting. Oh, look at my cats. Look at those two. Y'all chilling? They're on the Baby Yoda blanket. Y'all just chilling? Yeah, they're just chilling. They're just big chilling. Okay, let's go back to the interactive screen. Okay, so let's work on the summary a little bit. I'm gonna underline V1. Once we have the summary down, then we can start getting all the nitty-gritty details. What do you roll for? How do you structure it? And you know what? Maybe we'll even make this like a mini zine you can print out and run for players. That'd be really cool. Maybe we should start doing that. Maybe that's our weekly stream. We start making like weekly one-shots. That'd be fun. Okay, so summary, version 2. Whoa! Okay, there we go. So maybe it's not on the eve of graduation day. I like the idea that they're already in a training simulation. On the eve of graduation day, blah, 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 blah. I would love a more vintage movie theater, classic arcade and retro decorations. Yeah, I feel you. Cineplex. Oh, Cineplex. Okay. I've heard good things about Cineplex. Haven't been to one myself, but I've heard good things. You know what? I think music would help a little bit. I'm gonna switch it back to our usual kind of Critical Role adventure music. Get me in a superhero mood. Let's try this. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right, then you can give them clues as to minor malfunctions. Things seem off. Oh my gosh, you're in the training room and you think you're leaving the training room, but you're not. You're still in the training room. You're still taking the elevator, but you're still in the training room. You're not in the actual elevator. See, on the eve of graduation day for the Legion's new recruits, On the eve of graduation day, the Legion's new recruits finish their final training exam. Only to have it secretly hijacked by insert villain name here. One of the Legion's arch nemesis. One of the Legion's main adversaries. How about that? All right, so version 2. On the eve of graduation day, the Legion's new recruits finish their final training exam, only to have it secretly hijacked by blank, one of the Legion's main adversaries. The elevator is an illusion. Yeah, I think I'm liking that. I'm getting pretty happy with that. Let's try a new poll. Let's see. Do we think this summary is good enough to flesh out? Yes, no. All right, the poll is live. The poll is in your guys' hands. Is this adventure summary good enough to start fleshing out and writing into an adventure? They were able to hack in because there's an ex-hero gone bad. Ooh. Alien, that's exactly what I intend to do. They're starting with that final training exam. Just like X-Men 3, The Last Stand. Nah, the guy running the sim spills Diet Coke on the console during lunch, and the AI rewrites its algorithm to avoid death, and the new AI turns the exam into a life or death scenario. All because of a Diet Coke being spilt. You know, if it wasn't a Diet Coke, maybe it wouldn't have been spilt. I'm spilling that thing 100% of the time. Put a Mr. Pibb, a Dr. Pepper, a Coca-Cola in front of me, you'll never see that thing spilt. All right, let's end this poll. Let's see. Boom. Survey says, yes, we are good to move on. All right, so we're going to highlight this. We are happy with this result. So let's move on to the next thing that we need to work on, which is scenes. So in scenes, we're gonna make a list of basically what we want to have happen in this adventure. What kind of things do we want to put them through? What are the main... Oh, sorry, I hit you guys. What are the main bullet points? So we already established that we want scene 1. The heroes enter their final exam. So we'll use this scene. Establish heroes. So establish heroes. Boom. What do they look like? What's their name? What are they doing in this exact moment. So we established the heroes. Our first, what do we call these again? Are they called skill challenges? So skill challenge. Heroes will describe how they are taking down the bad guy in this training scenario and roll for it. Okay. And then coach. We'll just call it coach for now, just in reference to Mr. DC himself. DC being the dungeon coach. Grades their final exam based on results of the skill check. Maybe coach is the bad guy in this scenario. What do we think? I still think the elevator should be controlled by an AI named Pitch. Maybe Coach is an AI. AI named Pitch. Maybe it's like a Red Tornado situation from Young Justice, where Coach is there's not a robot person in DC20 as far as like ancestries go. So we'll just make up some kind of like automaton training guy, and Pitch will be that training guy. Coach combat. What is their favorite color? What is their airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? African or European? Excellent references, guys. Excellent references. Okay. So we have scene 1. So this is establishing the heroes. They're doing a skill challenge. Coach is an AI named Pitch. So elevator Pitch. And grades their final exam based on the results of the skill check. Okay. So, where do we go from here? We know scene 1, that's our opener, right? So now let's do scene 2. We'll do scene 2, scene 3, scene 4. I'd say probably 6 max. We'll make one of these like the final, right? So I've scene 1, heroes enter their final exam, establish heroes, skill challenge. Scene 2. I would imagine scene 2 is where they go to what they think is normal, right? So maybe that's like kind of like their locker room or like their break room or something, where they think they're resting after their exam, they're catching up, regaining any expended uses of mana, stamina, whatever. And then slowly things start going wrong from there. Right after the grades are given, Pitch gets hijacked and corrects themselves to say everyone has scored a 0. Interesting. So they actually passed the exam, but Pitch says 0. They go to their locker room or restroom or break room, lounge area. So let's see. So we got scene 1, scene 2. Things are not what they seem. Scene 3. Mental challenge of some kind. Scene 4. Puzzles. Some kind of puzzle challenge. Scene 5 is their like physical challenge, and then scene 6 is like their conclusion to the adventure. Coach, combat-oriented autonomous cyber helper. Oh my god. Yes. Oh my god, Coach Pitch. Or no, the training program is Pitch, and Coach is the AI. What was it? It was combat-oriented autonomous cyber helper. Okay. And then the training room, if it's called the pitch room. Oh my god, it's the pitch meeting. Anytime you have a pitch meeting, you're going into the training room. Pitch, powered intelligence that coaches heroes. Ooh! Hey! These guys are fighting over here. Hey! Why y'all fighting? Y'all good? Who start? Oh. Dang. Alright, now you're licking him. Oh. Do I need to intervene? I don't think so yet. They're just kind of... He's got a chunk of hair laying on him. Can't y'all just like lay down? Oh. He smacked him. Are you hissing at him? Let them battle it out. Oh, they fell off the bed. Okay. All right, back to the important stuff. Wow, that was really weird. The music fits perfectly. The Ryan George references are tight. And then pitch. Powered. Intelligence that challenges heroes. Oh my god, both of those are so good. Okay. So... the things are not what they seem. This is where they need to start something, right? Heroes enter the elevator and go to, I don't know, level 1. This is where their lounge area is. will each describe something unique about the lounge. Just for fun, you know? Just for fun. Players will each describe something unique about the lounge. Alright, so if there's not really... Okay, here's something we got to establish before we move on. We keep saying AI, we keep saying like an elevator and things like that. Is this like a fantasy elevator? Or is this like a genuine elevator and we're playing it in like a modern superhero kind of setting using DC20 stuff? I don't know. Is it just me or is his mic off? It may have been off. I had the mic far away so you guys could see the cats. I gotta go to sleep, 2:30 a.m. where I am. Bye, guys. Have a good night, Knucklebone. Strange code on the elevator screen. Modern fantasy. Okay. Okay, things are not what they seem as they go down the elevator and the lights flicker. All right. Maybe this is where what would start throwing them off about this? Oh, the unique things they describe become essentially like robot mimics. Specific things they describe will be the things that start attacking them. Boom. So that's like scene 1. Scene 2, they go to lounge. They're describing what they love about the lounge. We designed stat blocks that can kind of be applied to different aspects of a room that can start attacking them, right? And then those stat blocks can just kind of be like interchangeable, which is good. That can a stat block with a slight variation or two, way easier to make for a one shot and way less time consuming than making multiple just multiple stat blocks, like a chair stat block, a table stat block, you know. All right, so scene 3 is their mental challenge. The only way out is through the elevator. They can't get in. So why can they not get in the elevator? What if the longer the characters are in the simulation, the more things get weird? Rumbling, weird sounds, objects not behaving as they should, ghosts that are part of the AI. It could be. An off-limits floor for one of the heroes. Ooh. You could probably have one stat block and multiple add-ons. Could. The only way out is through the elevator. Alright, let's make puzzle 2. Let's make scene 3. Okay, so we need scene 2. Someone has hijacked. I don't know. The only way out is through the elevator. They can't get in. Source of the problem is definitely going to be scene 5, the off limits room, maybe. You have a hero that can fly or punch through the thick metal stone, and it kills the scenario. Like, destroys the simulation, or just destroys that scenario? Maybe the door to the elevator is locked and the players need to short circuit the elevator. Maybe have an electrical box as a backup way to short circuit it. Yeah. The only way out is through the elevator. They can't get in. Or maybe comms are down. The only way to let the Legion know of an attack is in person. Let's see. Heroes enter the elevator only to be greeted by blank. Blank does a villain monologue about how they are all going to die. No. Oh, this is falling apart. This is falling apart. It's not working. They know something is wrong by scene 2. We need to figure out what the goal is. What is our goal? Oh, elevator locked, punch a hole in the door. Ah, okay. The off limits room is the breaker room for the elevator's AI. I would probably pick a hero or villain who is causing this, or AI. Oh, it's for sure a villain. Stuck in the elevator, punch hole in the ceiling, fly up the elevator shaft. Maybe the BBEG villain has electrical digital powers. That's how they hijacked. Ah, yep. Okay, there we go. It's possession. Let's say Coach does a villain monologue about how they are all going to die. Ooh, I know what he does next. He has them in the elevator. They're on the first floor. He drops the elevator into a free fall. The heroes will die if they don't figure out how to get out. Okay, so scene 3 is literally like it's another challenge. They got to get out of an elevator or they're going to die. And then the rest of the session is just dependent on which rooms they go to, right? So if they go to a... Like, you have to have the rooms ready. You have to have the rooms prepared. Each room gives you a key to the puzzle. The puzzle being, you know, they win. So conclusion, have all the pieces to the puzzle and defeat the AI overlord. Puzzle challenge. I'm just gonna ignore these challenges things right here. Puzzle challenge. So after the elevator, it's all room dependent. So then the rest of these scenes are just rooms. Escape room, elevator edition. A hero has something of a villain's in their chambers, and the hero's chambers is heavily guarded. Will have to be a fail forward. Villain name idea, digital footprint. I just realized the more modern we make this, the more we have to tweak the classes and subclasses. We're going to have to reflavor a lot of things. The heroes will die if they don't figure out how to get out. Scene 4. What should scene 4 be? Go with the 1930s, like the Phantom. Ha! The Phantom? That's awesome. The Phantom or the Green Hornet. Ugh. Or the Shadow. Yeah. Wasn't there also one like the Spirit? Dick Tracy. You could flavor it to be a bit older in tech. Elevators, mind-controlled goblins, moving a crank up and down. Oh yeah, we could for sure figure it out. All right, so they do a training scenario. Everything in their room tries to attack them. Everything in the room tries to attack them. They should know by then everything is not as it seems, right? That's the whole thing. What we're forgetting is that all of this is happening in the training room. It's all in the simulation. So how do players figure out that they are not in a simulation? That's what we need to figure out. How do players get out of the simulation in the simulation? The heroes have escaped the simulation and shut down the AI in the breaker room / off limits room. So how do you learn at your... It would need to be programmed a certain way, right? You need to understand the program. There needs to be rules going into it. How do you win? That's it. How do you win? How do you win? It's got to be treated like a win scenario. You end the simulation. We need to establish early on that the training ends when you win the scenario, right? They must defeat they must defeat a supervillain in a challenging scenario. When he is defeated, the simulation stops. Okay. So then we need to figure out a way for the players to connect the dots and be like, okay, this is a simulation. It still follows the rules of you need to win to get out of here. And we got to figure out how to win. So what is the goal in this AI's mind? Like, oh, if you X, Y, and Z, you win. Maybe they have to lose. Maybe that's what they have to do. They have to figure out how to lose, but in a way that gets them out. How do you do that, though? How do you do that? How do you do that? Okay, so scene 4. Heroes reach safety. And form a plan to win the scenario. I don't know. It only gets harder. The session planning or the scenario? After defeating bots. Oh yeah. Okay, so heroes. Yeah, but that's good to know, but what do we have them do next? What is the next scene? Villain can warp into digital tech. The AI could still sense a villain undefeated, so the heroes will need to defeat the non-simulated villain. Wait, the villain can warp into digital tech. The AI could still sense a villain undefeated, so the heroes would need to defeat the non-simulated villain. But how do they defeat the non-simulated villain if he's the one controlling everything? Oh, hold on. Here's an idea. Spaghetti at the wall. What shirt am I wearing, boys? What shirt am I wearing? Superman shirt. What villain does Superman often fight from the 5th dimension? Mixospitalik. Mr. Mixospitalik. Maybe we treat the AI like Mixospitalik. You can't defeat him. Reality is whatever he wants it to be. So in this scenario that the heroes are in, the AI room, right? The reality is whatever the AI wants it to be. But just like Mr. Mixospitalik, you have to get the AI to accept a code or a key phrase. And boom, that shuts him down. So in this case of Mixospitalik, You get him to say or write his name, and boom, he disappears. The villain has certain rules he must abide by. Exactly. So we need to know what the rules of the AI are, and is there a way that we can get the adventurers to learn those rules? Okay, so if you're a villain and you're trying to control things, right? And you're trying to simulate things. Let's say the villain doesn't know everything. Let's write these rules down. The villain. Takes inspiration from Mr. Oh, right, there's no vowels. So mix the pital. Takes inspiration from Mixospitalik. Takes over the program of the pitch room, making reality whatever he wants. Doesn't know everything. He doesn't know everything. Can he be a known villain that the League knows how to defeat? I think so, because what I'm thinking is, if you're like a Justice League, you have a room, you have software, you have a database of all these villains and probably what can take them down. So if this is something that the Legion has fought before, they should know, yeah, you defeat this person by getting him to say his own thing. Mixospitalik. Mix yes bit elic. Mixilplick. Mixilplick. Mixilplick? Mr. Mixospitalik? Or Mix yes pit alic? Or Mixilplick. I've always known it as Mixospitalik. From the 90s Adventures of Superman cartoon, voiced by the wonderful Gilbert Gottfried. Gilbert Gottfried, yeah. It might be useful to have a brief list of what it does know or reference to the GM. I agree. Maybe it's an early on thing. Maybe it takes over the pitch room. In their first encounter, the coach bot comes in to help. I don't know. Maybe CoachBot is their way to learn the information. I don't know. This is hard. We picked a hard adventure, guys. We picked putting our players in a reality where reality is constantly changing, but we need rules. You know what? Great artists steal. So let me do a little bit of thieving real quick. Episodes of Star Trek that take place in the holodeck? Oh my god, there's a lot. These episodes utilize the holodeck for various storylines. Is there an episode where Star Trek gets stuck in the holodeck? I know that's not how I should look it up, but yes, the Star Trek The Next Generation episode, The Big Goodbye, features the holodeck malfunctioning and trapping the crew in a Dixon Hill detective program. Captain Picard and several other crew members become stuck when safety protocols are deactivated due to a power surge caused by an alien scam. The crew, including Picard, must convince the holographic characters that they are not real, while also figuring out how to escape the malfunctioning holodeck. Wesley Crusher eventually manages to reset the holodeck, allowing the trapped crew to escape. Okay, so they escape thanks to an outside force. Okay. Is there a story where the X-Men are trapped in the danger room? Most notably in the comics, where Astonishing X-Men by Joss Whedon, in this story room, the danger room, which had gained sentience. Oh, we didn't even think about that. And a female persona named Danger trapped the X-Men and forced them to fight various threats. This storyline also involved a virus infecting the Danger Room, which led to the X-Men battling artificial versions of villains. Okay. Maybe it's old school fantasy rules, guys. Q is usually bored. I think I remember Q. Full transparency, guys, I'm more of an original series fan. I've never finished any of Next Generation, any of Voyager, any of Deep Space Nine. Yeah. First season of Next Gen was rough for me to watch. So I have no explanation for why captains suddenly wear red instead of yellow. I hate that. I also just think it looks bad. Not the show, just the uniforms. So yeah, there's that full transparency. Okay, so maybe it's old school fantasy rules where it's like, ha, I'm here, I'm messing with you. Solve my riddles of 3 and I let you free kind of situation. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's as simple as that. He puts them through 3 challenges and I was like, fine, I guess I'll piss off somewhere, you know? Let's see what else you guys say. Have the name but scrambled on some of the screens that they would see. Ooh, yeah. Or maybe they find a letter with each room or in different rooms. Yeah. The Moriarty one rings a bell to me. Q from Star Trek is similar in power of reality. He usually has a very specific purpose and end goal. Usually they solve it on a technicality or by leveraging some stronger force. During the skill challenge in scene 1, the player that rolls the lowest causes the glitch to occur. Coach says to not make the glitch happen. When the party realizes they are still in the simulation, they must recreate the glitch to escape. Okay, I think there could be something there. So a glitch gets them in the scenario, and then maybe they need to recreate that scenario that got them there in the first place. Maybe. Not a Trekkie is what I'm hearing. An original series Trekkie. But yeah, I did finish Enterprise. I loved Enterprise. Discovery is rough. I like the first season with Orca, the captain. Or is it Orko? I thought the first season was a blast. The second season was kind of crazy, but I really liked Pike. And then Strange New Worlds season 1 and season 2, I love. I'm a defender, even though it's a little canon breaking. I like seasons 1 and 2 of Strange New Worlds. Season 3, which is currently on air, is rough. It's really rough. I'm thinking about tapping out. But yeah, season 3 is rough right now. Wow, the stream died for a second right after you said you didn't like TNG. I wonder why. I heard he hates yellow. What? Who? I like the original series uniforms. I think they're the best. So the captain randomly switching to red doesn't make sense to me. Like, why did Starfleet go, hey guys, you know how we color coded things? We're actually redoing the colors. Maybe they were like, hey, we hate the association that red always dies. So we're putting that on the captains now. I bet that really boosted morale for everyone. Like, oh, what are you trying to say about the captains, huh? I hate it. Guys, I've never watched Star Trek. What are you talking about? Same, but have seen the movies. Most of the movies are fun. There are Star Trek movies. There are Star Trek movies. Some of them are great. Some of them are all right. And some of them are really terrible. The stream glitches out and says something about you not liking yellow. Oh, I was just saying I hate that the captains starting with the Next Generation don't wear yellow. I just hate the uniforms of the Next Generation and on. I hate that there's no explanation for it. They just switch uniforms. And it's like, okay, but why? I get that the shape of the Enterprise advances, the computer, the technology, all of that world building. I get that. Things advance. Why did the uniforms change? I don't understand. I don't understand. Got it. I've never heard a great explanation for why either. It's just like, I don't know, it just did. TOS for the win. TOS for the win. I agree. Okay, so maybe... Is this a villain then? Okay, here's what we need to decide for this one shot. Is having a villain hindering this adventure? It kind of feels like it is a little bit. Does this need to be them versus the program, or them versus an outside force influencing the program? I think they're conflicting as far as one-shots go. Campaign, I don't think so. One-shot, it's a little conflicting. Terms of service, the original series. TOS, the original series. TNG, the Next Generation. DS9, Deep Space Nine. Voyager is just Voyager. Because if you put Star Trek V, then you have people thinking you're talking about the 5th Star Trek movie. Simplifying it will always help a one-shot. I think so. Okay, so that means we need to change our adventure summary a little bit. So summary version 3. On the eve of graduation day, the Legion's new recruits finish their final training exam in the pitch. And then what do we say pitch stood for again? Powered intelligence that challenges heroes. The powered interior that challenges heroes? That'd be kind of funny. Training room in the pitch, blah, 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 blah. Okay. On the eve of the graduation day, the Legion's new recruits finish their final training exam in the pitch. When a glitch in the program causes the scenario to malfunction, the heroes must find their way out. That's such a lame way to write that. So what do we need them to do? What is their goal? When a glitch in the program causes the scenario to malfunction, the heroes must find a way to convince the program they have won in order to escape. That's still a lame way to write that. When a glitch in the program causes the scenario to malfunction, the heroes must find a way to convince the program they have won in order to escape. How do we feel about version 3? Let me pull this up for you guys. I'm gonna go now, getting tired. See ya. Adios, say the ant. Maybe just a growing number of bots, and the main goal is to break the simulation. No big boss. That might be it. Let's take the villain out. There is no in-universe reason for the division colors getting switched. It was only done because Patrick Stewart looked better in red than gold. They should switch it back. Hear me out. I know Discovery takes place in the future now, or whatever it is. They should just switch back to yellow. It's a whole new Starfleet. Just go back. Please. Maybe they use illusion magic or something else to redefine what is alive and what is dead, thus the program thinking they are all dead and shutting down. Oh, or they have to trick. Okay. Okay, so... What is that? It sounded like something was like crashing down outside. When a glitch switches the program to putting the heroes in a no-win scenario, the heroes must find a way to lose in order to get out. That's still lame. Kobayashi Maru. Is that what Kobayashi Maneuver? Kobayashi Maru? I think that's what it's called. When a glitch switches the program to putting the heroes in a no-win scenario, the heroes must find a way to lose in order to trick the program into letting them out. Part of the simulation, it thinks they are. It thinks they are part of the simulation. Oh, yeah. Oh, I like that. When a glitch convinces the program that the heroes are a part of the simulation, the party must work together to trick the program into letting them free. Something like that. Main scenarios or main objectives. I like the idea of the AI fighting back against the hacking and helps the players escape. Kind of like Sword Art Online. Oh, you're gonna make me sad. Sword Art Online? Sad. I would imagine it has a safety feature just in that case. Yeah. Okay. So scene 1, the heroes enter their final exam. They must defeat a supervillain in a challenging scenario. When defeated, the simulation stops and they receive a grade. So this is used to establish the heroes. What do they look like? What's their name? What are they doing in this exact moment? Skilled challenge. Skill challenge is what are they doing in this exact moment. Coach. Combat-oriented autonomous cyber helper grades their final exam based on the results of the skill check. Okay. So this is getting trickier. Oh man, this is hard to think of. There's not like a progressive like whoop. This is when players in this scenario, once they figure things out, are gonna try like dispel magic and things like that. But like, if this is the modern thing, is dispel magic just dispel technology? Like, you know what I mean? Like unhack something? I don't know. Grades their final exam based on the result of a skill check. So if they become part of the simulation, right? Like the AI thinks they're part of the simulation. Why would the AI start attacking them then? If the AI is supposed to be a simulation attacking the heroes, and then it thinks the heroes are part of the simulation, Why would it start attacking? Yeah, they would be able to break pretty quickly with those. Oh man, this is falling apart. This is falling apart for me. I think let's go back to the beginning. What were we originally thinking about when we were writing this? It's called elevator pitch. You know what? We haven't really been talking about an elevator. You know what I mean? There hasn't been a whole lot of elevator in this. The elevator is a trap for new recruits of the Legion. Okay, so if we go back, if we ignore the AI part and we go back to the supervillain part, here's what I think, right? They genuinely start off in the training room. No, because that's still the AI. It would attack because they didn't clear out when the scene changed. They are old actors in a new scene. Dispel for just a few seconds. High level of illusion, DC19. High level of illusion, DC19. Maybe. This is slowly falling apart for me. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking right now. Spaghetti at the wall. So we have a bad guy, right? Who maybe this is the first time the Legion is trying to do recruiting, and it's a big deal, right? Maybe it's like a ceremony. The heroes have been paraded through the city with their second generation hero or kid, right? They reach their equivalent of like the Hall of Justice, and they're like, okay, so this is the final part of the exam. Guys, something's not working about this, and I'm struggling with that. Ugh. My brain needs a break. My brain hurts right now. My brain is slowly getting fried. Trying to think of like more examples, dude. Currently looking at pictures of like different DC villains. Hurts my brain, dude. This hurts my brain. Shoot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Final challenge, powers are muted, and they have to finish the last few levels without them. Last few levels? Levels? Like plural? I was hoping just one level would be like the final challenge. So then spellcasters are screwed, but marshals have the power. Oh my god, my brain is fried. It felt like we were onto something like really cool for a second there, but it's like it's really falling apart in my head now. Okay. They have to work together. That's the point of the final test. I guess so. Here, marshals, you do all the heavy lifting while we think of something. Okay. I'm gonna switch back over because I'm just gonna brain dump. I'm just gonna exactly what I'm saying. Just brain vomit, just word vomit. Heroes are dispatched to investigate an elevator that causes people to disappear. Upon going down elevator, the players are split into different planes of existence, all capable of interacting with each other. Players must solve survive their plane of existence and complete their puzzle. To combine the planes of existence. Example: party of 6 is split into 3 planes with 2 players on each plane. For each puzzle solved, the planes merge, going from 3-2 to 2-3. And finally, 1, 6. Maybe that's how it works. Going down the elevator splits you down into multiple planes. The only way to escape it is to solve this riddle or puzzle on each of your levels or combat challenge that are all capable of interacting with each other, but you can't see the other players. But once you're able to merge the planes of existence, it goes from 3 to then 2. So you have more players on this one, more players on this one. They have their combat challenge and their puzzle that is all able to interact with each other, but they can't see each other. Then it merges into the final layer for one final puzzle where they're all together, but there's a puzzle. They unlock the puzzle, they get to escape this reality and take the elevator back up. My brain hurts. Oh my god, dude. I don't know what else. I don't know. I might have to take a break and revisit this. This might have to be like a part 1, and then part 2 is a different thing. You know what I'm saying? This is hard. I think I'm going to have to do that. I think I'm going to do that. I'm probably going to update this with the patron members over the week. So if you're part of Patreon, I'm going to share this document and I'm going to leave it open for comments. That way you are able to like influence this. Elevator pitch the movie. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So let's file share with others. Boom. They can comment on it. I'm gonna copy the link. And this is gonna get shared with the patron members, so that way they can work on this with me over the week, and then by the time we have the next stream, you can see what we worked on, and if this adventure looks like it can be something that can be printed and run at your tables. Hopefully, we'll see though. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you for helping me turn my brain into mush. It felt good to do some creative writing and some problem solving with you guys. Right now, I'm talking with some players to hopefully do another DC20 one-shot, being able to upload it to the channel. Fingers crossed we can get it to work. Hopefully we'll have an update for you guys soon. But besides that, I'll probably see you guys when I see ya. Goodbye.